Mitosis in a tapeworm results in haploid sperm and egg cells. This is necessary before a sperm and egg can recombine to form a diploid cell. Meiosis makes fertilization, which recombines genetic information to produce variation in a population possible. Variations allow individuals in the population to survive under varying conditions. Mitosis allows for growth of the tapeworm and repair of tissues in a tapeworm. It maintains all the instructions in the original cell since the cells produced are identical. The tapeworm also changes forms in various hosts to exploit various environments. Mitosis makes these changes possible. Incorporation of HGH gene into tapeworm. A virus entered a human body cell and its DNA became incorporated into the human DNA. By chance, the viral DNA became incorporated close to the human gene for HGH. When the human DNA began replicating viral DNA, the HGH was replicated as well and became a part of the viral genome. The virus mutated in such a way as to allow it to enter the reproductive cells of a tapeworm gamete. Once inside a tapeworm cell, the viral genetic information became incorporated into the tapeworm DNA. The gene for HGH then became part of that tapeworm's DNA. Since it was a gamete, this altered gene would be passed on to subsequent generations of tapeworms. Dwarfism and treatment. Lack of HGH during childhood development results in the disorder known as dwarfism. Children with dwarfism develop at a greatly reduced rate, however, body proportions are relatively normal. At puberty, children who lack HGH have long bones that are greatly reduced in length, and hence they are dwarfs as adults. Advantages of using PGF instead of human HGH. Produces growth in a similar way to HGH, does not cause insensitivity to insulin, no risk in leading to diabetes, blood glucose would not elevate, other diabetic symptoms would not occur, any other reasonable response. The student draw an accurate tapeworm life cycle program diagram that includes most of the following: gametes, fertilized egg, coracidium, pleurocercoid, and adult tapeworm. Mitosis and meiosis are clearly and correctly indicated on the diagram. Clearly describes the value of mitosis and meiosis to a tapeworm. Clearly describes the 3 necessary steps in the transfer of the human growth hormone gene to a tapeworm. Draws a tapeworm life cycle diagram that is fairly complete and correctly indicates mitosis and meiosis on the diagram, or draws an accurate tapeworm life cycle with mitosis or meiosis indicate on the diagram. Clearly describe the value of either mitosis or meiosis and partially describe the value of either mitosis or meiosis. Clearly describe 2 of the 3 steps in the transfer of the HGH gene to a tapeworm, or partially describe all 3 steps. Draws a tapeworm life cycle diagram that is partially complete and correctly indicates mitosis or meiosis on it, or clearly draws an accurate tapeworm life cycle diagram. Clearly describes the value of either mitosis or meiosis, or partially describes the value of both mitosis and meiosis. Clearly describes 1 of the 3 steps in the transfer of the HGH gene to a tapeworm, or partially describe 2 steps. Attempt a tapeworm life cycle diagram, or describe when mitosis or meiosis occurs. Partially describe the value of either mitosis or meiosis. Partially describe 1 of the steps in the transfer of a human gene to another organism. Address only 1 of the 3 bullets at a 3 or 2 level. Insufficient is a special category. It is not an indication of quality. It should be assigned to papers that do not contain a discernible attempt to address the questions presented in the assignment, or that are too brief to assess in this way or any other scoring category. Although there is a high level of glucose in the blood, in the absence of insulin, body cells are impermeable to glucose. Therefore, glucose is not available as an energy source and fatigue results. Since glucose cannot be used as an energy source, fat or protein stores are metabolized, which results in weight loss. Also, glucose is not stored, therefore weight gain is not possible.
promotes the conversion of glycogen to glucose by liver and muscle tissue, thereby increasing blood sugar levels. Sensory neurons